This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. Hey, Carm here, and Happy New Year to you. Hey, we're going to start with a big bang and another new episode starting off 2021. Hey, thanks for your strong connection and support through all these years that we've rippled the waters of the automotive aftermarket. We're going to continue to put you in the front row of life in the auto service business, and we're going to keep the ball rolling for remarkable results first episode of 2021. Our topic today is about millennial customers and employees. With me is Sara Fraser, a millennial with Haas Performance Consulting. Sara has been a favorite on the show and lives what she teaches, and she does the research. Now, if you figured out millennials, that's great. However, I know there's one thing you can learn from our discussion. I guarantee it. Now, remember, millennials are your largest customer base and the bulk of your future or current employees. Hey, it's Carm Capriato, the Aftermarket Podcast. Guys, so thankful to the sponsors that make the Aftermarket's premier podcast available to you. I want to thank Napa Insurance for sponsoring this episode. You know, Napa Auto Care is proud to partner with nearly 17,000 independent repair facilities, and the goal is to help members sell more needed repairs. It's no wonder Napa Auto Care is the largest banner program. Now, if you'd like to learn more, get on board. Reach out to your Napa representative today. Hey, never miss one virtual shop tour that we present each week. You can catch all the episodes on the aftermarketweekly.com website, and now you can listen to the show wherever you listen to podcasts. Yep, Aftermarket Weekly is now a podcast. Hey, never forget about the books page on the website where we catalog all the books that are mentioned during any of the interviews. Leaders are readers, and you know that. remarkableresults.biz/books. Hey, you can find Sara's other episodes and the key talking points for this one at remarkableresults.biz/E603. Hey, warm welcome to Sara Fraser from Haas Performance Consulting. Hello, Sara.
Hey, Carm.
I think you've been on the show 9 times in the last 5 years, and I think a lot in the last 2 or 3 because you became active in Dad's consulting business, and you became a very kind of interesting go-to expert on millennials since you are one.
Right? Who better to ask than, someone who's actually living it?
And I know you are very opinionated when it comes to how businesses do business with you. And I know you've spoken at Virtual Apex. There's so many opportunities to go out and spread the word. And I think it was a few years back when Millennials was kind of the craze. I started to do episodes, and I think that's when I first met you. And I know your dad's even done episodes on Millennials. However, it's not bad to revisit this topic, even though I've done some in the past, and people can go to my website, look up Sara Fraser, see the Millennial episodes. But life is changing around us, and even though the Millennials probably haven't changed much, there's probably some information that we could update. We're going to do 2 episodes together just to let the audience know. You're going to hear Sara this time, and then maybe 2 or 3 or 4 weeks down the road, depending on how the schedule, we're going to do a second one. This one's going to be about what millennial customers want from repair shops. Also, we're going to hang in there what millennial employees are looking for. And then we'll just tease the audience for what the topics will be for the next one. So let's get started. You've done a lot of research, but at the same time, you are a millennial customer and an employee. I know that for sure. You work for your dad, who's, I know, a boomer. But you also get out there, you visit with shops. You guys are so involved. So the advice that you can give people on what employees are looking for and how to manage customers are great. So what's their preferred method of communication?
For a millennial, I think most widely it's text messaging, Facebook messaging, any sort of messaging where I don't actually have to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. And I did just kind of want to touch on what you were saying about, we did a bunch of training on millennials a while back, right? I think people still think of millennials as these 20-year-olds, younger people, but really, I'm 35. Millennials have grown up. We're not necessarily this immature stereotype that everyone has in their minds anymore. We have careers, we have houses, not all of us, but a lot of us have really learned to adapt as well and to change. And we had to grow up and We're just very, very different from the generations before us and also from the generation after us. Generation Z coming in, we're very different from them as well. So I think it is really awesome that we're going to revisit this topic and talk about how millennials are interacting today in business. But communication is huge. We love to communicate. We love to share everything. As you see, if you go on Facebook or if you're on social media at all, we put pretty much our entire lives out there for the whole world to see.
And I don't know if my son or daughter are going to listen to this one, and I don't think they share 100% of the things that are around them, but that, I don't know what I was doing the other day, and my daughter was home and she was helping Ann do the tree, and I don't know, I know what I think I did is I opened up a really expensive bottle of wine just to celebrate the beginning of the holidays. Well, Tracy had to start taking pictures, and I'm not sure if she shared them or not, but it was an experience that I think she wanted to either remember or tell the rest of her world about.
Exactly. And when I talk to shops about the experience I want, one of the things I tell them is I want an Instagram-worthy experience. What that means is I want something while I'm there that's going to make me want to take a photo and share that with somebody. So, is your waiting room fantastic and has this great like espresso machine or something in it? Or was the service really awesome that I'm going to share that with other people and tell other people about that? We want these experiences that we can share with other people. So even in business and going to an automotive repair shop or even in a job, like I want to be able to hop on my Instagram and talk about how much I love my job. Even this morning, I was on there doing a story talking about, hey, I'm going to be doing a podcast on these topics in a couple hours, and I'm really excited to get on and talk to Carm. And, it's just, we want things that we're passionate about, that we're excited about, that we can share with our peers. So when I come into a shop and as a customer, I want something about that experience to make me feel like I want to share that with other people.
But why? I mean, I guess what I want to know, because I'm a boomer, and I don't dispute anything you're saying, but I'm always an individual who'd like to know. So I'm a boomer owner. I'm a Gen X shop owner, and I've got to have this find the moments that I could relate to my new upcoming and very important millennial customer. But why do I have to find those moments to post on Instagram? Because your world was this absolutely totally digital world, and that phone and you are homogeneous. I mean, it's hooked to you. Is that why?
I mean, that's part of it. I think another part of it is we listen to our peers a lot. For instance, I just moved to a new area and I need a new automotive repair shop, right? Where am I going to go to find who I should go to? I'm not going to necessarily pull out the phone book like you would in the old days. I might look online, but chances are I'm going to message people I know in the area or people that I follow on social media and say, hey, would you recommend somewhere? Or I can even post on Facebook, say, just moved to Madison looking for XYZ. Can you post recommendations? We just like to contribute. Millennials love to contribute. So if somebody puts that out there, hey, I'm looking for recommendations. If I know of somewhere good, I'm going to hop on and say, yeah, absolutely, go to this place. Like, we just like that. We like to share that. We like to contribute.
You just broke the code for me. The why is that, hey, you never know, because Sarah may be looking for someone that you just posted, and it connects and it intertwines and it likes and it loves and it's shared. And if you're not there, you're out.
Oh, and there's huge FOMO for sure. So fear of missing out. We hear this all the time with millennials, with Gen Z, especially with social media culture. We see all of our friends doing these great things and going on trips or doing this or having this awesome experience.
But doesn't that push our bubble to the point where we have credit card debt? I'm sorry, I'm going off in that crazy direction. But it would be nice to have, but the fear of missing out, and it would be nice to have, collide, doesn't it?
It does. But there's a lot of things too that are necessities that we share with each other, right? So grocery delivery services have been a big thing lately. So maybe we're sharing about that, or automotive repair is a necessity. So we can share about that. And there you can still have this FOMO if you're like, well, I don't get treated like that when I get my car taken in. They don't wash my car for me when I bring it in. They don't give me a cookie and a coffee when I bring it in. Maybe I'm missing out. I'm not getting this great experience that somebody else is getting. So maybe I need to go to a different place. I mean, yeah, I think we do have the fear of missing out on big things that we probably can't afford, but also just on basic things too.
Very good stuff. So you're at the shop, you're having your experience, you have a new place. As a millennial, what are you testing or looking at? I mean, do you want people to teach you what's going on with your vehicle? Do you want to know?
I suffer from information overload, as I think a lot of millennials do. And so it's very common for somebody who is in the automotive repair business and knows all this information to just want to information dump on us and tell us all of these things that are going on with our car and this, that, and, to an extent, I need to know certain things, but don't overcomplicate it for me. Don't talk technical to me. Don't use terms I'm not going to understand, because chances are I won't tell you that I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm just going to stand there. I'm going to nod and smile. I'm going to leave. And then I'm going to call my dad and he's going to go, "What was wrong with your car?" And I'm going to be like, "I have no idea." So try to make it as simple for us as possible, but maybe take all that information and put it in our repair order, put it somewhere so I can reference back to it. Send me an email with, like the DVI is great. Give me that information. So when I talked to my dad and he's like, "What's wrong with it? Here, hold on. Let me send you this email that they sent me and you can look at it because you're going to understand it and I don't," right?
As much as you're a techie, you don't want someone to talk tech to you.
Right. Not if it's something I don't understand or don't necessarily care about. So for me, my car gets me from point A to point B, right? I love my car. I love that I can travel with it. I can go places with it. I have no desire to understand how it works. I really don't. I have no desire to understand how the pieces fit together. I'm in the automotive industry and I know very little about the inner workings of my car. It's just not important to me. It's not something so when somebody tells me, well, this is broken and you need to fix it, I kind of give me the why, how important is it? Does it need to happen right now? Or is it something we can, do 6 months from now? Explain it to me as simply as you can, but don't give me this information dump where I'm just kind of standing there going, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, no information dump. If I do business with you through an app, are you happy with that?
I am a big fan of apps. And the reason being is they kind of take the thinking out of it for me. If you have an app for your shop and I subscribe to it, I download it. And if you think about this, a lot of people nobody's going to want that. Nobody's going to want to do all this work of getting an app. Look at your phone and think about how many times do you use an app a day? We use an app for everything, for every social media platform, for our emails, for literally everything on your phone that you're using is an app, and they're not that hard to download, install, and use. So now I have your app on my phone and I've signed up for the notifications. And so you can send me a notification when my oil change is due. You can say, "Hey, Sarah, your oil change is due in 3 weeks. Would you like to go ahead and make that appointment?"
Can I stop you for a moment? Let me think about this app thing. So I have it's it's Sarah's service. You own the shop, and I have your app. You got an app build, and I know there's companies out there that do it. In fact, I think ASA has an app company that can do it for you, and a great association. And I know the app company, great company. So I have the app, and I've got 6 screens of apps on my phone, and I'm not sure exactly where I would put Sarah's service, but it's there. Is my phone going to make sure it puts me up the fact that you sent me a notification? I mean, even if it's on screen 7, it's going to show in the forward listing of when I turn my phone on, right?
If you have it set to notifications on. Literally just went through this with my husband because I ordered his Christmas gift on Amazon, and I was like, "You have to turn all of your Amazon notifications off because we have the same account." So I'm like, otherwise it'll say, this item shipped. And so, yeah, you can, in all of your apps, you can go in and you can set your notifications and how you want to receive them. If you want them by email, if you want them by text, if you want them to pop up on your phone.
So the difference between the app and texting, Sarah, you've been texting me from now on and now you have an app. Is that double dose? Do you have to be careful that you don't do it twice?
I think let your consumer decide how they want to communicate with you. So if they want to sign up for text messages and that's what they're good with, then let them do that. If they like the app, let them do that. The app has a lot more benefits than just the messaging. You can put discounts in there. You can do all sorts of stuff on there. You can, instead of having a loyalty card, you can put that right into an app. So you don't have to actually carry a card around in your wallet anymore. There's just a lot of really neat things you can do with it that I think are super beneficial to our industry as well as pretty much any small business.
Hey, Hey, Carm here, and coming up, Sara explains why millennials want a safe place to work. Hi, Carm here, and I want to talk to you about the Napa Auto Care Center program for health insurance. We've all heard the reports about the rising cost of health insurance, but you'll be happy to know I'm here with really good news. The Napa Insurance Center is now offering the Napa National Health Program, and it's saving Napa Auto Care Centers and their employees money, lots of money. In fact, in the first 90 days following the launch of the program, Napa stores and auto care centers and their employees saved over $2.7 million. That's all thanks to the Napa Insurance Center's partnership with United Healthcare. It gives auto care centers access to the national large group rates on medical insurance with premiums discounted up to 30%. Now, these rates are based on the collective purchasing potential of 22,500 Napa locations, including both Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care Centers. And listen to this. The news just keeps getting better. You can choose from 4 excellent United Healthcare medical plans with varying levels of coverage and deductibles to meet a range of needs. All plans are PPOs, preferred provider organizations, with comprehensive coverage. Because of the Napa Insurance Center's partnership with Aflac, you can have access to supplemental insurance benefits, including disability, accident, hospital, and more, all at a Napa-only discount, up to 35%. The Napa Benefits Center can help you with other group benefits too, including group life insurance, retirement, HSAs, and more. Napa's National Health Benefit Program is just one of the many reasons to become part of the Napa Auto Care family, the largest network of independent automotive repair shops in the country. Talk to your servicing Napa store. For more detailed information about the Napa National Health Program, visit the Napa Benefits Center at www.napabenefitscenter.com or call the Napa Benefits Center at 844-627-2123. Were we in Chicago together on a panel discussion for ASA Illinois? And that's how you ended up becoming in like 5 episodes, because I recorded the entire day. You were on the panel with 6 or 7 others. I would be upset if I couldn't remember every name, but you were in every episode that I ultimately ended up publishing. And I remember you getting up and you were so, listen, if you're going to be open this time, you be open this time. And if you said you were going to call me back, you have to call me back. And if you said I wanted to do, it's like I want to be notified by text and then the phone rang. And that really pissed you off, right? And so this whole convenience thing is what is millennials, a big thing for millennials.
Yes. So I actually recently went to a new shop here in Madison, and I was so excited because they had a book online feature, right? And I booked my appointment online. It said, how do you want to be, how do you want to be communicated with? Text message. Great. Perfect. Did all the steps, got the email saying, they got my confirmation. 2 minutes later, my phone rang, and it's the person at the shop wanting to confirm my appointment and ask me some questions. But I'm like, why are you giving me the option to communicate with by text if you're just going to call me? And I don't typically answer the phone if I don't know the number, right? So it's kind of, and I think a lot of millennials and a lot of people in general are that way too. So if you're going to ask me my preferred method of communication, then do that. If I wanted to call you, if I wanted to talk on the phone, I wouldn't have booked an appointment online. I wouldn't have, set my communication methods. I would have picked up the phone and called you in the first place. For me, there's a lot of anxiety about being on the telephone. I feel like I'm going to be asked questions I don't know the answers to. I like messaging because I can read the question, I can think about it, I can process what I'm going to, respond with. I have this thing, and it'll even happen today. Like we'll end this today, and 3 hours later, I'm going to be thinking about a question you asked me, and I'm going to go, oh, I should have said this, or I should have said that.
No, don't get any anxiety over that. You just write them down and I'll have you back and we'll do another show. These are the answers to the questions that Sara wants to get right. Show.
Well, yeah. If you text me or email me, you're giving me that time to think, right? You're giving me that time to process and go, okay, this is what I want to say, or look up that information. Maybe you're going to ask me something about my vehicle. What year is my car? And not everyone knows that, right? Let me go find out.
You want time to process, and I like that. You know what? While you were talking here, you said, I don't want to be on the phone. And I started to think we had that phone back in the day where you picked up the receiver, you spoke into the microphone back in the pioneer days. And then ultimately it went to a dial phone. Then we had all these touch tone phones. It's neat to watch the movies and the evolution of the phone. And then, of course, oh my God, the smartphone. It was so powerful. There were so many things we can do. And now we don't even want to be on it because the phone was inside the smart device and all this other stuff hovered around it. The biggest pain that I have in my phone is the spam calls that are coming to it. And you're right. I probably would get 2 or 3 phone calls a week, but yet, Sara, we communicate every day through text messaging and email. It's kind of neat that I'm here at the age that I am, that I've been able to really see the evolution, so much evolution in that, because when I was a kid, we still had dial phones and party lines. And if you think where we are today, scary to think what the next 2 or 3 years are going to be like.
And I think we forget that it wasn't that long ago that we didn't have this stuff either, because so we recently lost a dog that we had had for 13 years. And I was going back trying to find pictures of her as a puppy. And I don't have any because we didn't have phones with cameras in them 13 years ago. But in my brain, I just feel like it's something we've always had. And I'm like, why don't, because we would have actually had to use like a digital camera or a disposable camera to take photos. So I didn't have any like little puppy photos of her. So
the contrast is amazing. I did a show on of the decade of the 80s, Town Hall Academy, a little while back, and everybody who was on submitted me pictures of them from the 80s. And I said, well, if I was going to do that in the marketing piece, let me put one of mine. So I came into the basement. In the cabinet, we keep the old pictures. And Ann and I spent like an hour to go through these manuals, photo albums and stuff. And the picture that I used, I don't even recognize myself. It was in the late 80s and I was holding my son and I had this unbelievable, beautiful hairdo from the 80s. You know how much hair, a lot of people had a lot of hair in the 80s. I don't know why I went there, but you're right about the photos that we look back. And I looked at all of them and I said, how are we going to ever keep these? We have to figure out how to digitize them. So you know what I did? The next time I got online and I was looking to buy, what could I buy to digitize these photos for me without spending a lot of money? Well, the highest quality stuff was $400, $500, $600 to buy. And I hesitated. I didn't do anything, but thank you for taking us down that memory lane. So let's talk about millennial employees. I want to get that in before we tuck it up. What are the things that millennial employees are looking for?
We want a space that we're safe. And I think that's the biggest thing with millennials and especially with Generation Z coming in. That's something that we have in common is we want a workplace that we feel safe in, that we feel comfortable in, that we feel respected at. And so when I talk about wanting to feel safe at work, there's physical safety and that's a part of it too. But a lot of it is, am I going to be safe from stereotypes? Am I going to be safe from bullying? Am I going to be safe from racism? Is this a comfortable space? Is this a safe space for me to come in and work? So that's absolutely number one for me. And I think for a lot of millennials is that I'm going to be in a space where I'm not going to have to deal with, hearing derogatory terms or being talked to differently because I'm a female or being treated differently because I might be younger than everyone else. I want a safe and comfortable workplace.
Do you think we're missing the mark today?
Yes and no. I think a lot of places have come a long way. I did work in a used car dealership and service center for 6 years. I did hear a lot of things that I would have preferred not to hear at work. We're going to do another podcast on business culture, and we definitely will talk about that more too, as far as being the boss and stepping in and saying, hey, no, this is not okay. But when you have a boss who is part of that or is in on the joke or just lets talk like that happen, it's a very uncomfortable situation for somebody to be in. But
is it for everybody that we know, any human being, forget the generation they're from?
I think so, yeah. And I think with millennials, well, especially with me, as you said, I'm an opinionated person and I'm not afraid to speak my mind. So when I'm in that situation, I'm going to speak up and say, hey, that's not okay. Like, you can't talk like that. Like, that's not a cool thing to say, but not everyone is going to do that.
What I think about, since pictures are taken and it's not difficult to share your feelings on any social platform, if you feel that there are things wrong inside the culture of the business that you work in, the rest of the world's going to know that. I don't think that's healthy for growing business clientele. And so, because I guess the millennials are so quick to share, you've got to do this stuff right.
It's really important. I think that safety and comfort piece is huge. If you're not making sure that your employees are comfortable and that they feel safe at work, I mean, that trickles out into your business too, because word of mouth gets around, people hear that, oh, this owner is this way or does that or treats people like this. And, I'm not going to go spend my money with somebody that I know. We see a lot of this cancel culture happening, right? Where somebody does something really bad and it blows up in the media and they get canceled. I'm not a big fan of that. I think, people deserve a second chance to come out and to apologize and to fix and to change and to grow. And as a business owner, if you've done something or mistreated employees in the past or have a bad rep, that's not an end all. Like, you just need to find a way to learn from that and grow and get your current employees happy to where they're sharing their great experiences and your customers are sharing their great experiences. You can always recover from a bad rep, but if you're not doing anything and you're not taking the steps to grow and to adapt and to learn, you're not helping your business in any way.
How about I want to contribute to the business at any level? Is it a higher degree at Millennials where they really want to participate and help?
So contribution is huge. If I feel like I'm not helping or I'm not doing something that makes a difference, I kind of feel like I'm wasting my time. Or if I come to work and you give me something to do and then 10 minutes later you step in or you do it yourself, or I'm in the middle of helping a customer and you come in and you step in, you're basically telling me that I don't know how to do my job. And that makes me feel like, well, why am I here in the first place? Why did you give me this assignment? Why did you put me on this job if you're just going to take over and do it for me? And I don't think bosses realize it when they're doing it because they think they're just, I'm helping, we're busy and I'm helping. But you're telling me I'm not capable. You're telling me I can't do what you've hired me to do. And I need to contribute. I need to help somebody. I need to make a difference.
I mean, what you just said is huge. I don't want to belabor that point, but it's huge. Here, Sarah, go start this job. And 10 minutes later, I look over your shoulder and says, hey, don't forget to move those wires out of the way over there. And instead of you looking at it as the caring boss who's just giving some small direction, who feels like they're in a mentor mode, you feel, but I knew that. Why the hell doesn't he just let me do my job? So, warning boss, warning manager, give the millennial the yardage that they need without hovering over them. I guess, is that maybe the right word?
Yeah, and make sure that we have the tools and the training and the whatever it is that we need to do to complete the job. So don't set us up for failure. But if we're capable and we have all the tools in our kit to do whatever the assignment is, let us do it. Don't step in and change it or take it over. Or if I'm really, really doing it wrong, then at least explain that.
You want to be directed, but you also want to be given the freedom to take what you just learned and put it to use without hovering.
Correct. Yes, I definitely want direction. I want a good leader. I want somebody who is able to say, yep, this is what you're going to do today. I kind of like to know what's expected of me ahead of time. So you're going to do this, this, and this today, and then let me go and do it. And if I have a problem, I'll come visit with you or ask you, or maybe check in with me halfway through the day, but don't step in and take over for me if I'm able to do what you give.
So you do a great job. Does it matter that Sarah, excellent job today. I can't tell you, we so appreciate you being on the team. Is that important?
That's so important. And I think that's definitely one of the things that's more important to millennials than any other generation. So we've heard the term trophy kids before. We grew up where everyone won, everyone got a participation reward. We're used to being told that we can do anything we want and we're really awesome. And we've started to believe that, right? Like, we think we're amazing, but then when you don't tell me that I did a good job, now I'm going to be my own worst critic and I'm going to be thinking about it all night. Did I mess that up? Did I do something wrong? They didn't tell me that I did it right. So just that little check-in, that little hey, you did awesome is huge. Or just saying thank you. Being appreciated means so much for me as a millennial employee. I have a client who always messages me and tells me, just, we appreciate you so much. We love the work you do for us. Thank you so much. That makes my whole week. I could be having a horrible day and getting that message, it's like my day just turned around. And that one simple thing that took them 5 seconds to send me completely changes my day.
No doubt everyone loves to get the hug or the high five. No doubt, but more to the millennial generation than ever. You brought up the everyone gets a trophy, a participating trophy. And as a millennial, do you believe in the participation thing?
I don't think I would be upset if they didn't get a trophy. I think that we've kind of seen that it maybe didn't pan out so well for us.
You know, in the tough real world that you go to, I'm a technician, I'm a 35-year-old technician working at a shop. Does the owner have to, and I don't know what you would classify a participation trophy in the real world of business, but sometimes you get slapped up the head and you say, hey, face the facts. This is the real world. You don't get a participation trophy at the end of every day if you did good, or at the end of every week. But maybe the allocates, the appreciation, the acknowledgement it takes place of that participation trophy, of which we have a box here in the basement of my son's hockey ones. And we asked him the other day, would you like to take them? And he goes, no.
Why it's important with your millennial employee is if you don't do that check-in, and I'm not saying you have to do it every day, but just, make sure you check in and let them know where they stand. For me, I start to overthink, and then I'm starting to go, wow, they really don't like what I'm doing. I'm doing a really bad job. I should probably start looking for something else. So I'm firing myself, and you might be thinking I'm doing a great job, but you haven't told me. So I'm going, wow, I really don't fit in here. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. I need to find something else.
Well, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen, is that the individual quit, but they're still working. Let's cover one more final thing in the millennial piece here about equality. Here it is. I'm a young person. There's a person that's 10 years older, a lot of experience, ASE, certified and everything, and I'm working toward those goals. Do I feel like I have to have everything the same as everyone else in the place?
I think you need to have the same opportunities to get there. I don't feel, we obviously know we need to put in our time and we need to work, and that people are more experienced than us, but there does need to be, I believe, an equal opportunity for everyone to succeed.
But you have to outline it. That's the thing, Sarah. If you came to work here, but you didn't know what those equal opportunities were, then it's almost like I'm not being treated fair. But no, here's the compensation plan. Here's the bonus incentive plan. Here's how we promote from within. You just can't make that, the secret that changes every day. You've really got to tell the world, this is how we do things. Here's our culture. Here's our policies. Here's our programs. Here's everything that we do.
And you just hit on another really big factor for us, which is transparency. We love transparency. The more that you are transparent about the business and my potential to grow and my potential to learn and to earn more, the more appealing you are to me as a place to work.
We create our life, our business, our vision every day. And so what you're saying is, I'm sorry, Mr. Business Person, you want to hire a millennial, you've got to be open and you've got to tell people what's on your mind. Even if those things change, there's a lot of people that don't want to share because they're inventing as they go. And what you're saying is, well, then tell the world, hey, this is what we're going to do for the next 3 months. It may change, but if it does, I'll bring you in on it.
And if you are inventing as you go, let us be part of the process. Let us contribute. Let us share. Let us give you our opinions on what we think would work. I mean, you don't have to listen. Listen to us. You don't have to do what we say, but at least take our opinions into consideration. Include us in the process.
I love this. I mean, I'm so glad I reached out to you and said, hey, let's update the whole millennial thing that we've done together. And this was a great episode. And we're going to do one more, and we're going to talk about why aren't millennials applying at your shop as far as getting them to come in and hire them. And then we're going to cover, like you mentioned earlier, the whole business culture environment thing. Sara Fraser, Haas Performance Consulting, thanks again. Appreciate you always coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.